And we're live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Saver Dice, the Kharos Stones. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Texas evening. I don't know where you guys are from, but, you know, it's gorgeous. I'm just saying. Mike,
Texas and gorgeous. Those two words.
A little cold out up here.
It's hot. It's like 76 right now. It's crazy.
Really? It's fucking cold where I am.
It's like it was awesome. I wore flip-flops all day. Here I have some amazing people with me today. I have Mike and Lauren and Guy and Jacob and David. If you don't know them by now, I don't know what to tell you. So, reading a little bit of feedback, but we're going to hand this thing over to Lauren, a.k.a. xMsGinjaNinja, to talk a little bit about our sponsors and with some extra announcements. No
pressure. Hey, guys. Someone messed it up real bad last week, but I got you guys. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. Today's sponsors are going to be Dungeon Painter Studio. If you want to paint a dungeon, get on in there. It's available on Steam. If you guys want to be able to use those painted dungeons somewhere, use Fantasy Grounds. It's our tabletop platform of choice. Get on in there. It's also on Steam. I have a funny thing, but it's not appropriate for this one. Guys, speaking of not appropriate, check out the podcast because they just voted on a bunch of T-shirts, and they're pretty effing cool. And you guys should go check it out. There's a link below the video that goes right to it, to the merchandise store. I'm getting one of the T-shirts for free. If you're not a patron at a certain tier, I don't remember which tier it is, Cody, you're not getting one either.
It's the T-shirt tier.
The T-shirt tier. Guys, it's self-explanatory. It's in the name. Go on over there. Go on over there and sign up.
Oh, my God.
Also, praise Jenks.
That was a great fucking segue.
Ironically, that is probably the best... best job we've done in a while. It's been a while since we've done that well. Lauren, well done. Well done, man.
Let's just end the show.
Yeah. We have a star board and you put a little sticker on there. I just want more stars than Mike.
Well, how about 100 XP? I'll give you 100 XP.
Yes!
Playing milestone.
Good, my characters always die, so at least we could keep this one alive at that XP. Thanks.
Lauren, let's not talk about that at the moment.
What?
Nothing. All right. So, also, by the way, guys, down in the description box, that will take you right to the Teespring store. We also have the Classic in stock now as well. If you just want the nice, big, pretty Saver Dice logo on a T-shirt. If you have the old Classic, we've kind of shifted around, made it a little bit bigger, made it a little bit nicer, so you guys can snag that if you don't want a seasonal shirt. Guy, I think we're gonna play D&D. I think we're ready to play D&D.
I hope so.
Already, we didn't even fuck around.
Wait, we got to use the tagline. Welcome to Saver Dice, where sometimes we play D&D.
I think we're ready.
I can give you a quick summary of last week. They kicked ass in an arena, and Gwen watched.
That's right. That is true.
By the way, I love the secret message here, Guy, that you've sent us. Just for the record, it the overlay captures all of that, so it's just right up there, buddy. I think you can promote
what? I did a live stream the other day with no audio, so yeah.
Wow.
Technology and I fail epically. Epic fail. Anyway, all right. Well, let's get some role playing happening, and then we can talk about that later. So last week you were at this spectacular party event that was in your honor, as a matter of fact, since you had been victorious in the sacred rites of the arena of the Shaq Quantil people. Now, the individuals gave you each items, if you recall. Do you remember what item you got given, Dante?
Oh, it was right. I was like, how back did this go? No, this was like 5 seconds ago. I got it was a cup, like a mug made out of a skull.
That's correct. Do you remember what you got? Let's see, Lionel?
Absolutely. I received an almost 7 foot tall, beautiful feather.
That's right. That is correct. Draxus, what did you get? Do you remember?
Draxus got nothing, but the demon got a small pearl.
Right. That's true. Vankus?
Thank you, Scott. I'm trying to open up my character sheet because I know I put it on my inventory.
Your wrestler named the Demon.
For shame, David.
Yeah, I forget. But I know I wrote it down. So, the thigh bone. There it is. I'm like, I knew I wrote this down.
A tooth.
That's right, the thigh bones. You got
A tiny thigh bone.
Oh my God! Please stop. Please stop.
And Gwen, your participation prize.
I'm gonna be honest. Gwen does not remember. Narratively, she doesn't remember.
You got the is that because Gwen drank so much?
Yes.
That Gwen is blanking. Well, that's okay because Gwen wakes up with this string with 4 red beads on it in the shape of skulls, little red skulls.
A dope necklace. Yes.
Yes. There we go. So the party continues. Sartoon has arrived. Captain Sirac is waiting at the door like an impatient father, kind of looking at his sundial and just wondering where the hell everybody is. And we'd said that the curfew was midnight. And look, there's Lionel and Dante dancing on tables. And what is Drexus doing to that little lizard folk? Anyway, so it's one of those nights that runs around. Now, do you also recall what you were given at the very end, Lionel?
Yes. Unfortunately, I have received a death token.
That's correct. That's correct. And so our story picks up where our heroes are all sleeping in the love nest of Sartoon. How you got there is perhaps left best unsaid, but there certainly was a feathered bird involved in getting you there. You don't necessarily have any after effects, which is quite nice, but there is the smell of freshly cooked eggs and bacon as Leslie's wont to prepare for her husband of the future. What are the 5 of you doing?
Immediately running to make sure she didn't cook the dragon egg.
You kind of scrum. Dragon egg, don't touch the dragon egg.
It's dragon egg.
Where's Drexus going?
It's fine. She definitely has not touched it. Where are you keeping this dragon egg, by the way?
In the love shack.
But where is it? Is it on a box? Is it in a crate? Is it placed proudly in the center of all of the mattresses?
I assume it's in some kind of large crate that has been stacked with comfortable bedding befitting the king of dragons.
Does Scratches keep it warm? Does he sit on the egg?
He sits around it. He's like a cat with hooves around the bottom side.
Yeah, he's just keeping it warm so it hatches.
Yeah. My best friend is really concerned about his dragon egg, so I mean.
Yes. Yeah, he's snoring currently while sleeping on the egg. Captain Sirac comes to you. You are all very much awake now. Yes, good. Can we depart? I have been seeing things that I did not want to see that these people do to Skywhale, so we can go now. Yes? Huh?
Don't talk so loud.
I am so very sorry.
Where are we going?
That is the question I am asking you. Where are we going? No.
I look around. I have no idea how I got here. And I look over.
Captain, about that, might I have a word with the rest of the people before we make a decision?
He sort of looks around at Aerwith, Al-Kazim, Scratch It. You want me to leave? Are they going to? Because I feel that this might very well be an exclusion that I am not very comfortable with.
Well, he's a captain. He can stay here.
It's, and I'm going to kind of hold the token up to Dante. Dante, I have been mocked.
Yeah. When?
At the party, a man came up with the black token. And this was just like, I think like one of the tribesmen, right, that handed me this? Or was this Captain Sirac?
It was Sirac.
It was Sirac, okay.
Hmm.
I've got to report back in 3 days or I'm going to be sentenced to death.
What do you mean you got to report? I thought that just... Where are you going?
I've got to go back to the tribe's people. I would very much appreciate if you came with me. I know what we are doing here is very important, but so is my life. Please.
Will they not kill you just because they gave that to you? You could go there, you just might die.
It is a trial token. I got to come back and face the music, as they say. And Dante, I might have a lot of music to be facing. I did not think that they would find me out here. It has been at least 6-7 years since I have left.
Who gave you that token?
And I kind of point over to Captain Serac.
I look at
now
Captain
you want
Serac.
me here? Now I stay? Now I am valuable? Huh?
No,
I understand.
Dante stands up, walks over to Captain Serac, and he looks at him and says, "Did you give that to him?"
Well, yes, but it was not me who issued the disc. There was this courier that arrived, and he said, I cannot do the accent. I'm not as gifted as you are. No, the courier arrived. He gave me the disc. He says, this is for the one known as Lionel.
Guy, can I insight Captain Serac and Lionel?
Sure.
Like, just... I want to see if they're both lying.
Gotcha.
You would notice Lionel kind of like shaking just a little bit.
Okay.
Like a man who has finally got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
The honey pot?
They're both
honey
they're
pot?
both telling the absolute truth as far as you can tell.
I do notice that thing with Lionel, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Well, how long ago did he give that to you?
It arrived yesterday. We were doing the circle, and then it got given to me, and I went and I did find... I found you. There was drinking.
Dante, I need you to come. My friend.
Why do you need me to come?
Because if I'm found guilty, I might need you to bust me out. Please, Dante.
You need me to bust me? You want me to bust you out?
I might even need a champion. Who
That's
knows?
what you need me for.
I need you as a friend, Dante.
What about all these guys?
I'm not really his friend. It's more of a mutual relationship of...
Talking to you, donkey.
His ears kind of pressed
Point
back.
at, I don't think Draxus is here,
Yeah,
but I point at Vegas and
I kind of thought we were all here, so are we not
Yeah.
all
Okay,
present?
sorry.
Okay.
I point
You're
at
all in the love nest, yeah.
I point at the three of them.
They are welcome to come. I
do your dirty work?
I could use a friend or a few friends.
I turn to Donkey and look at him knowingly. Scratches. This could solve some problems for us, couldn't it?
That's all it does. Everybody sees it because one of his ears flops when he closes his one eye.
Yeah.
What happens if we don't?
Well,
By we, I mean you included.
Oh, I would be killed. There is no doubt about it. It may not happen next week or it may not happen next month, but I will die a most horrible death.
They'll try to find him. We could always protect you.
How about this?
There are stories of those who have gone on the run, and it is not something that I wish to partake in.
I have a question for you. Why is it you're the one always making the plan, huh?
Dante, and I kind of hold up the token. Do you think that I made this plan? Yes, I said, hey, you know what would be good for Lionel? To be putting a price on his head. That's what I said. So, yeah, you're right, Dante. I'm making the plans. It's not like I'm being marked for death or nothing. I have been through so much with you.
Both of you shut up. I have an idea right now.
I'm sorry, Dante.
We have two things happening. One, we have to save the world. Two, we figure out whatever shit you've gotten yourself into. So why don't you start by telling us what shit you've gotten yourself into, besides the fact that there's a price on your head?
I'm with him. I'd like to know what we're walking into.
Okay, I did not kill anybody, but
Wow, I don't think anyone accused him.
there might be
So
no. I did not kill anybody. I did not steal anything. I'm not a criminal. But I mean, I had some tough negotiations, but that is not, you know, I gave people fair product for fair prices. I'm not a swindler. I might have swindled a few people, but that does not get the price on your head. I think I know what this is about. It's about my wife.
Lionel, Dante, is there a chair in here?
Wait, you're married?
Yeah, there's several chairs. The love shack has been
He grabs a chair and he turns it around and he kind of sits on one side of it and he looks up at him, and he just says, "You have killed someone."
I mean, not someone who wasn't trying to kill me. So I don't count those.
Yeah,
Those don't count, dude. No, those don't count.
You know, like Gwen said, you're married. You have a wife.
Yes.
Where is your wife? Why is your wife not with you?
I left her. It is she was a beautiful woman, but you know, I am a free spirit. I could not be tied down.
You left. You can't
You
just
have children?
I don't have
I
no
want you to
kids.
listen very closely to this wife scenario and do the opposite of whatever Lionel did.
Hey, Draxus.
Yeah.
This is really loud. She's saying this, everyone can hear. She's not good with social situations. That's kind of a bad thing to do, to just like leave your person that you mate with for life. Isn't that like a person that you...
Dante looks
It's
at everybody.
bad. It's terrible.
And
Once you keep them from getting sacrificed, you should stay with
It was an arranged marriage, okay?
I turn and look towards everybody and I say, "He killed himself."
He's right there.
That is true.
What?
It is true.
I looked from Lionel to Draxus. Draxus is not happy enough. He couldn't possibly have killed himself.
I
Okay,
faked my own death.
All right. Yep.
Clearly not well.
I thought I was stupid. I guess I am smart.
It is it is why I'm missing a few toes.
How did you
Stop
fake
t- stop
with a couple
telling
toes?
That's the weirdest thing. It could have been anything, but you got to tell people I ate them.
You know what? We don't believe
You're
you.
the one
What's
that's-
your foot?
You're the
Oh,
one that
I'm
ate the
glad you
pinky
guys didn't
toe.
think-
I said leave a few toes. You only left one because you thought it would be funny to eat one.
Listen, Peter Pettigrew, why don't you chill out? So they found you. You're not dead. Now what? What's the crime besides killing yourself? Pretty sure you can't be double killed for that.
Yeah, Lionel. It was only once, wasn't it?
What crime are you paying for?
Yeah, Dante, it was only once.
Oh, good.
And then maybe one more after that.
That's what I thought.
I might have two wives.
You might have.
I have two wives.
Only two?
You know, but Lionel is a free spirit. He cannot be tied down to any one woman.
Gwen is kind of creeped out by this because she doesn't understand all of this. So I think as he's talking, she leaves and goes and gets Leslie, who I'm assuming is in like the next room in like the
breakfast. Yeah.
Yeah. She'll probably go grab us like something that she was making or something, and then walk in and sit down and start eating it. And just she'll sit next to Venkus like, it's crazy, right? She doesn't really know what's going on.
Did he fake his death twice? I turned to Gwen.
I don't know, but I mean, I thought people were supposed to like you stay with them or you leave them, but why would two people want that much honey? I don't
know. And is that the rule? Every time you fake your death, you cut off a toe? How does that even work?
It was only one
I
time.
have these scars, and she lifts up her shirt.
it was only the one time.
Why do you keep showing us the bean scars? That's like the 8th time this past 3 days you've showed us the bean scars.
I promise, Venkus, I only have the two wives.
It's a story. It's a story that I know.
And then, of course, there's Trey.
It's okay, Venkus. You promised me it was
How do your
only
wives
one.
feel about this?
you know, not great.
It's a story I read in a book, one of the many books that you can find on this ship here because it's a floating sky library. There's a man named Brenton Verlo who had a similar problem where he had taken many wives and faked a death or two. And you know how his story ended? He actually got killed, Lionel.
Well, you know, I'm hoping that that is not what is going to happen in this story.
Are you being hunted down because of the wives? Is
You
that,
know,
is
I
that
was,
right here?
you know,
Because you faked your death with, and you had wives. Is that why you're being hunted down?
you know, I don't see what the big deal was. I had a couple of wives. It was never a problem. But you know, Trey, when he got involved, that was I think what put it over.
Well, when I was growing up with my parents, there was another female that moved in and tried to move in, and my mom just tore her head off and then shrieked really loud, and that was the end of that. And that's where I learned you mate for life with one mate.
Dante looks at Vegas and smiles, and he says, "Hey, me too."
Gwen puts her hand on Venkis' shoulder and goes, "Now that's romantic. I see now why Leslie has chosen you as her mate."
It's not romantic. It's disgusting.
Were your parents actual animals?
Owlbears.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
You said some name, Terry, something.
You keep saying something about a tray.
No,
Trey.
No, I mean Trey. Trey was.
Are you counting?
No, Trey. Trey is my husband.
Yeah. Of course he is.
2 wives. And
But how many? Before we develop a little bit further in this, sorry to cut you off there, Venkis. I feel like Venkis, we should get the full story in one breath.
Okay,
Yeah,
I promise I ain't
We
got
don't know
no more
about-
spouses. I got the 2 wives and my husband.
Do we need to contact the wizard Jerry Springer to get in here and just cast some type of a truth spell to get you to start talking? I don't.
If this Jerry Springer wizard can make this problem go away, then you know I say we should call him.
Absolutely.
Sorcerer Mary might be better.
He makes it so much worse every time. And he has a bodyguard named Steve who just gets in the middle of everything. And it's a real shit show. You don't want any part of that.
Steve.
So
Yeah,
it
unfortunately,
doesn't
Lionel,
matter.
you know,
I
I
must.
trust you in any other situation here, but when it comes to your lovers and it comes to whether or not you or them are alive, I don't trust you one bit.
Listen, here's what you've told us so far. You've told us that you had 2 wives and a husband, which I don't care about. And the fact that you have killed yourself at least twice, which I also don't care about. But none of those things provide me with any reason why you received that token and you're now wanted dead.
You're not supposed to be married 3 times.
Who's hunting you, though? Who cares enough?
That's it?
It is my people. You know, when you marry a woman, you get some money in some places. And you know, I didn't stay with the women or my husband Trey.
Hey, Dante.
Do you get money for a husband?
And I have a feeling that you know, I tried to keep them separate, but you know, sometimes women talk and you know.
I'm sorry, wait, Gwen, what'd you say?
You have a good memory, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
When he was talking, if you could remember back a few minutes ago, because I do.
I'll try. I'll try my best.
Yeah. Okay. If you remember back a few minutes ago, we were asking what he did, and he said, "I've never swindled anybody." Does this sound like a? I don't know what the verb of swindle is. Swindling.
It's swindling. It's
Gwen, you've gotten this far. You
Swindle,
shouldn't trust the
swindle.
word it says.
So
You still haven't answered an important question.
You stole 3 dowries.
I did
What's
not
the
steal
first
any
one it said?
dowry.
You took a dowry and left the person.
No. D was arranged marriage. I never wanted to love on D, but you know, when I met Lee and Trey, you know, I just fell in love, and then I fell in love again.
But
And
you
then I
still took the
decided that you know, maybe I shouldn't have 3 spouse says, and then I faked my death and I left. I mean, you know,
There's a lot
as
of
I
ways
just
to
going to
have
be
many
leaving all the
spouses.
money with them.
Yeah, I'm not going.
I don't care enough, and I have to protect him, and if he's not going...
Well, if you don't come and help me, how am I supposed to be helping you save the world? You think you can be doing it all on your own? You're wrong. You know you're wrong.
Hey, Captain.
Al-Kazim raises his hand. He has not spoken in quite some time. You will pardon my intrusions into your deliberations here.
Go ahead.
There's you. Are you part of the Brotherhood by any chance, Lionel? It is the Brotherhood you are belonging to. That the Black Dot. I remember there was a book. There are many books. As Drexus has.
I have not been a part of the Brotherhood for 6 years now.
Carry the 2.
If we are found to have been harboring him when the black mark is given, they will assume we are part of his crew. We will suffer the same fate if we do not hand him over to them. The Brotherhood is a very polite organization of individuals who, how did you put it, Lionel? Oh, yes. Don't swindle people out of things. They just make a lot of money mysteriously.
Yeah.
You get my meaning.
Yo, Captain, bruv, I was hoping that I would be able to convince my new friends to help me on their own accord without threatening their lives.
Oh, it's no threat. He made a clear statement. If we are harboring you when you receive the mark, so let's not harbor you. You can stay here. And he points to the Lizard Nation.
Here's the thing they already know. They already know that you're here.
And then we stopped harboring him.
They know I'm here. They know Vegas, they know Gwen, they know the fucking donkey.
On that point,
Really?
Is he sitting on the egg and you're yelling at him? And his ears go back and he sinks down into the egg and like,
I hate to bring a point of order, but Lionel is technically the owner and leader of this pack. Bankus relinquished control of it when he faced and lost to Lionel.
None of that is real.
Donkey gets
Me and Donkey make the same expression at the same time.
how far away would we have to travel if we had to deal with this? How far out of our way for saving the world do we have to go so that you can deal with your exes?
That's a great question. Let me see if I can remember that in just a moment. Let me think about the geography and about how far we are, guy.
From where you need to go? Yeah. Well, thankfully, all you need to do is travel from where you currently are, which is Shishiquam. You simply need to travel to Harding, which is probably 2 days.
You know, it is a great question that you asked that. We are in Shishiquam. We need to go to Harding. It's only about 2 days away with the Sky Whale.
Out of the way, though.
I'm figuring we have about 8 weeks left to save the world, so...
We could go drop Lionel off and get more money for Draxus and save the world.
How about this? About
Is there a bounty?
Money on his head, that's what I heard.
Lionel's gonna kind of take a step back from Draxus and crew and kind of look over at Dante. Dante, bruv, tell me you're coming with me.
You said it yourself, buddy. Don't miss a deal.
Yeah. I don't have a choice.
None of them either. But they don't believe me.
I know. But I'm not going to convince them. That's your job. This is your problem, not mine.
Lionel, why would you tell us there's a price on it? I don't care. But Draxus really likes money. He's like a dragon person.
I'm not too worried about Draxus.
It's racist.
And he kind of points over at Gwen. She makes me nervous, however.
Well, they're kind of together and one of the same.
She's eating a sandwich, but since she can't have bread, it's just like meat on meat in a sandwich.
It's a KFC sandwich with
whatever in the middle. So
it's a double down.
Gwen is fucking keto.
She had a little bit to drink at the party, which she has never done. So now she's just munchy. So she's sitting there eating, and she hears her name. Do you say it loud enough that she can hear?
I would say yeah. I mean, like, yeah, you're the only person on this place that intimidates him. He's pretty sure that he can handle everybody else. Whether that's true or not, who knows? But he's pretty sure he can handle everybody else.
That's because you didn't see me and the pack of wolves tear apart that ogre.
Yeah, but I also slept you in a round. So I mean, you know, he's nervous about Gwen. She freaks him out.
I think that Gwen is sitting there kind of analyzing the situation, trying to figure out how this would best make Draxus easier to watch, because maybe she could be like, oh, do something for Draxus, and then in return, you know, like that's how her head's going right now. So she's sitting there eating this pile of stuff. She looks up, tilts her head at you. I'll go if he agrees, under one condition. You stop trying to sell things to people every single place we go and cheating them out of their money. I know there's pee and dirt in there.
Who has been peeing in me, honey? And he cuts his eyes over to Dante immediately. I thought we had an agreement, Dante. You don't taint the product.
You taint the product. It's mostly dirt.
It is honey. And I'm going to kind of like pull a jar out and eat it.
That's the pee.
Well, let's see.
Wait, can we roll?
I'm pretty sure you told him you just peed in one, and he's trying to make a point. He would quickly like be like, "Yeah, that's not the pee." Okay, good. Okay, that doesn't slosh around.
It was the kids. I had to teach them. Them your ways.
But that's her offer.
You're asking me to be someone I'm not. But I tell you what, if you come with me, I will stop selling the honey.
You'll stop selling bad products to people.
Listen, we have to return you either way.
That seems a little subjective.
Okay. This seems like maybe we don't need to go that much then, Draxus. It seems like his life's probably not worth it that much.
You know, if you don't believe me that you've been marked as well, you're welcome to carry on.
She lifts up again to just to prove the point, bring it home. She lifts it up on her stomach just enough to show they can mark me all they want. I do as I will.
You know,
as my God wills me. And she looks down to Draxus's arm.
You know, I've heard honey has good effects on the skin if you want to do something about that.
I feel like,
you know, what doesn't have good effects on the skin is being murdered.
Everyone's just missing the fact that we're flying a skywheel into the core of the planet. And the chances of coming back out of the core of the planet are never happened before, ever.
But that still means it's a pretty good chance, yes? Says Captain Sarek.
At least
the pilot they fucking stole.
Captain, it's about a 50-50, so I mean, pretty good odds.
Yeah, 50-50 is pretty good. Pretty good deal. Yes, I take it.
Yeah. So listen, we have to bring you to wherever the hell you need to go anyway. We might as well turn the bounty in. And if we need to stick around for whatever jailbreak you need, you said it yourself, we're already marked. What are they going to do, mark us twice? Again, we're flying into the core of the world. I don't think their mark has much bearing. But if you want to go home and face the music, as you said, we can derail this again. I mean, hell, we liberated a mine for no reason. I mean, no offense, Vegas. You let the guy live.
We saved a bunch of my friends.
That's
like Syracuse and Brenton Verlo and John Berman and James Leslie.
Where are you getting this list?
They would not have been saved.
It sounds like you're reading. I didn't know you knew how to do that.
That's impressive.
Vegas, I I helped all of your friends escape the mine. I saved the children. Would you not do the same for me? I've had your back. How could you consider yourself a real man if you cannot have mine?
I already said we're going. Did you miss that part?
What Draxus said, we're going.
There's a knocking at the door.
I can't guarantee that he's not going to try and sell you, though.
I'm for
Gwen
sure.
pulls out her Morning Star when she hears knocking on the door. She has meat sandwich in one hand, and she raises her weapon.
We're on a scale.
Zim is the closest to the door. Shall I open that one?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
So, Venkus, we were in the middle of talking about people coming to kill us.
More or less, it's more or less bullshit.
Al-Kazim looks at you, Gwen. As he rips
she
open the
jumps
door.
off the table and lands right in front of the door.
It's young Javi, the kid.
Oh, see? Always be prepared. I taught you that.
It's true, she did.
Spider monkey.
You were
She
not
just backs
prepared.
He very slowly
That's why we're not going to the other mine.
do we get a vote? He says, looking very nervously at everyone.
No.
But there's like lots of us.
Yeah.
I think they should get a vote.
She nudges
We-
Draxus.
Yes.
You know, as the
Sorry, what
donkey
are we
said,
doing?
Draxus, I think I'm in charge here.
Do you just want more yes votes? I already said yes. I just also said I'm going to sell you.
But they might say no.
And there's a lot of them. If their votes count, then that would be bad for you. I mean, my math is way better than my reading.
If they all say no and there's more of them and we don't go, that's not the answer you want. You're bad at this. Just settle on the yes. We already said yes.
Well,
I
that's
don't know what your goal
what we think should happen.
See? Moot point.
Wait, what do the kids want to do?
So let
They want to
We
go.
want to be present when we bury Lionel.
like you see Lionel like all like excited, like, damn right, I saved these kids, and like hell yeah I did, and oh god, I'm gonna die. And they want to be there to bury me.
Gwen.
Draxus has
Gwen
never
will.
been more proud of those kids.
I like when can we sell him? And he looks to the kid in the door.
Well, and not because we want you to die, Lionel. It's just because you did such a nice thing when one of us died. We want to be there for you.
Aw, that's sweet.
I'm thankful, I guess. And you see him kind of look worriedly over to Dante and Venkus, like, oh my god, this is so gonna go terrible.
Just
Also,
smile at him.
Leslie hasn't yet let us have breakfast, so could you hurry up?
Gwen hands him the other half of her meat sandwich.
Form a line.
You know what
outside the
would
door.
go good on that? And I'm gonna pull out a jar of honey. And slide
Gwen's
it over
gonna
to
raise
kid.
the Morning Star to his face. Put that away right now.
At the door, one at a time. In, out.
It might be
in,
pee.
out.
Really thick, coagulated pee.
Wait, so does that mean we're going to Harding?
To Ardeen.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go there.
Finally, says Captain Sirac as he wanders off back up the stairs. We're going to Harding, he says as he starts disappearing up into the top of the skywall. Are you guys resolved? Is anything still pending?
So wait, we're gonna
he's gonna
we're-
go.
question where are we going first?
Harding.
Where's that? What is it? What's
It's a town in the Terrasphere. It's where the Brotherhood is capital. It's the capital of the
I don't
Brotherhood.
know why, but I blanked out an entire and very important part. Where's Harding? Why do we need to go
It's
there?
2 days away. That's
That's
where
where the
Rhino's gonna die.
Oh my god.
That's where we need to go for Lionel, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Jacob.
I didn't know I didn't know if there's the fucking kids. or something like
Jacob,
that.
I'm putting a video out tomorrow. You should check
yeah?
it out, buddy.
Okay, what's it called?
How to
I'll
pay
listen to your
attention
GM.
It's called Tiers of D&D players. You should check that one out.
Okay, all right. You're gonna tier us now.
To be clear,
You're gonna segregate us even more.
I'm selling you for sure.
You can try.
Okay,
I don't think
They're
you
also
can
trying to sell him in the super chat. For enough super chats, Lionel gets murdered.
Guys, if you donate just $20,
No. If you donate 100, you can kill Lionel tonight. That's fine. We have more
I was
art.
thinking 500.
An assassin.
We have more art, but we have to pay for art. So
It's already happening. There's been a bunch of donations because Dave said, if you guys keep donating, we'll kill Lionel.
here's $5. I don't like honey, and then I'm just fucking dead tonight.
yeah, I think once all of them finish talking about breakfast and the kid complaining, she's gonna walk out with him. She gives him her meat sandwich. She puts her arm around him to lead him to the kitchen so that we can go, or to the kids, so we could go tell them that they can eat. And when she leaves down and puts her arm around him and they're walking out, she's like, "The stance you took when I tried to attack you wasn't great. You left yourself vulnerable." And she just starts coaching him as they walk out towards the kids, and she's going to use him as an example for the rest of the children. Yeah.
So everyone starts drifting apart. Draxus, what are you doing?
That's it. He's just reminding Lionel that he's going to sell him.
To whom?
Back to the Brotherhood.
Oh,
There's a price on his head.
that there may be. That there may be. Dante, what are you doing?
This isn't a delivery service guy.
I go over to Draxus because I didn't get to respond to this, and I said, "You're gonna sell Lionel?
I mean, this isn't a delivery service, Dante.
You can't just sell him. They're not gonna buy him."
I don't know how the world works, but if we take him there and they give us money, wouldn't that literally make us a delivery service?
If he shows up on his own, then they just take him for what he did. You can't just show up and be like, give us money. We brought him. Also, we're friends. They're going to be like, yeah, we know. We've seen you travel with them for the past week.
Friends is a strong word, Dante.
They know we've had this conversation. They're not stupid. They're a lot smarter than you and a lot more rich.
So how do I get them to pay for him?
They won't. Kill him, bring his body. That's how you do it. But I won't let
That's inconvenient.
you. Mm-hmm. Because you'll also have to kill me.
Yeah, but you're all right, so I don't want to have to kill you.
Oh, thanks. That means a lot.
Shut up, Dante.
He walks away.
Oh boy. Vankus, Leslie comes up to you with your breakfast and she looks you very seriously in the face. Are you thinking of taking another wife?
She's talking to me when she says that?
No, she's talking to Vankus.
Oh, thank God.
You hear
Leslie, I hardly know what to do with you, dear. I would never think of taking on more wives. I'm so confused all the time. Do you need help feeding the children?
Well, I was thinking it might be useful, but we could probably just hire someone to help as well. You don't have to actually marry her, I suppose. I guess that's why Lionel did it, right? Was for the extra help?
I don't know. I don't know why he did it. Leslie, it seems strange to me. I mean, like we made for life. We made it for life. We're done. There's just me and you and, well, maybe all these kids and the ship, but I'm not going to marry anyone else.
Neither am I.
Do you want another wife?
Lionel, what are you doing whilst this is happening?
So Lionel is mentally preparing, and so he is like kind of going over the things that he might say to get him out of this. He's also preparing in case Draxus decides to attack him and knock him out. And so he does not trust Draxus at this point. And he's kind of a little hurt. So he's also kind of segregating himself from the rest of everybody because he's like, man, I did a lot for these people to help them out. And they saved kids. And they're going to just sell me out. Like, they're not good people. All I did was marry a bunch of people. And so he's kind of like, all these thoughts are kind of going through his head. And so he's going to move away, separate himself kind of from everyone and kind of just think about how he is going to get through the next 48 to 72 hours.
All right. Well, unless anyone is going to do anything specific, which you can mention now, the journey will continue. Anyone going to do anything specific over the next 2 days? All right. The journey across the Terrasphere is relatively uninteresting. There are several other sky whales that you see every now and again that are carrying cargo and the like. And Surak seems to avoid them. This is something that's very noticeable to anyone. Whenever a sky whale is spotted, he runs this very large tarpaulin over what's left of the decking and definitely over the love shack, and sort of casually stands there, and every now and again he waves this sort of green flag as skywells approach towards him, and that causes the skywells to bank quite sharply away, and then he kind of puts the flag down. There's some hushed conversations between him and Aknim Kasim, but other than that, the journey continues. Harding looks to be like a collection of fortresses of evil, for the lack of a better word.
Maybe like a fortress, like a collection of Brenton Verlos. Like, that's a good adjective.
Well, he was the lead architect in terms of designing these structures.
Verlo architecture, right.
Yes, correct. And the structure of these things, it looks like there's lots of compounds. So lots of walls, lots of large towers, again, with lots of spikes, lots of iron rods sticking out at all kinds of odd angles and the like. And then these large central keeps, also decorated to look like dread and terror. The rest of the city is just shanties. It looks to be made out of whatever's being grabbed or brought together. So it's this sort of ramshackle type of thing. The Brotherhood's structure sits right in the middle of it as this very large, imposing citadel, again, with spikes and things. And then it reaches up probably about 8 stories high. But there are docks sticking out of it at all different angles so that people can come in and leave if they need to. So Sartoon slowly pulls into one of the larger docks, and there are guards that approach immediately as the ship does. So the guards are all dressed in this very black plate mail. You can see that they have this rather unusual insignia upon them, and it looks like it's a hand, a reaching hand, and in the very center is this red drop of blood in the middle. And the one guard looks at the other and sort of ties the ship together. Are you on deck at this point, Lionel?
He is. Yes. I'm so sorry, guy. I heard everything that you just said. This is getting. I don't know what is happening, but there has been a fun to start killing Lionel and an anti-fun to start saving Lionel, and it's getting it's getting out of control. Yes, I am on top of the deck of the airship, as I am kind of standing on the bow, preparing to as it docks. Do I think that the whale is going to be able to dock, or do I think I'm going to have to disembark via rope?
No. These docks are designed to take all manner of shipment. The Brotherhood collects from everywhere all over the planet, so that's not a difficulty at all. You do notice that lining the walls, there are these large ballista, all manned, and the guards have all got these very large, it looks like they're repeating crossbows. It looks like they've got a chamber of bolts inset into the actual crossbow itself, so they can fire multiple shots in a single round. They watch as you approach. Like I said, they're wearing this dark mail and this dark symbol of this red hand with a blood drop in the middle of it, the symbol of the Brotherhood.
I have a question for you, for background. Would as part of the Brotherhood at one time, would Lionel know, beyond faking his own death, if there has been a successful escape from this particular island before?
From the island itself?
From the island. Has there been a successful escape during a trial?
Give me a history check.
Okay.
Give me a history check.
That's a thing I can do.
That's a thing.
Stop paying for my death and life, please. Jesus.
Just pay the cause.
I'm looking, buddy. I'm looking. Okay, I got a +1 to that. Ka-chow, 17.
Cow. Wrecking your memory, there is a tale that used to be told in the inner circles of the Brotherhood. There was an individual who had been on trial, and he was responsible for basically assassinating the leader of the Brotherhood. And so he was on trial. Obviously, the trial was very short. It was going to end. Everyone knew how it was going to end. He escaped from the city. Rumor had it he escaped by using a secret set of tunnels within the actual citadel itself. But how he accessed those tunnels is a mystery. Okay. But the tunnels lead directly to the edge of the island, and then he had organized a brief little vessel to take him away.
Perfect. That's great information.
So that's what you know. The guards watch you as you arrive. Captain Serac looks at you. The captain of the ship must stay with the Skywell. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't have to go in there. No.
You do not have to go with me. You can stay here.
That's yeah. You want Agnim Kasim to go with you? He sort of looks over at the skinny driver. He can go with you.
No.
No? Okay. No. Okay. Whew. Good luck. Can you send up like white smoke if you're not coming back? Or
I'm sure you hear the drums.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Fine. He watches. Are just the 5 of you disembarking?
I would assume so.
All right. The 5 of you stand down onto the stone quay, and the moment you do, Lionel, the 2 guards look directly at you with their crossbows. We didn't think you were coming back.
Bruv, I was open not to.
One laughs and the other one laughs. I would not be surprised as to why you would not want to come back. I have met Camellia. Oh my. Yeah. You come with us. The rest of you come with us as well. He says as he leads you down towards the central tower, the base tower itself. You are taken in through a very large, heavy oaken door. And I actually have a map, which I am now going to share with you.
I will get this. Oh my God, what is this map's name, guy? Uh-oh, we've lost the character.
Just don't share the map name.
David dropped here. I won't share that. David has dropped. We'll get him back here in just a second.
Right.
If you give us just a heartbeat, guys, we'll get this all fixed up for you.
Oh no.
I won't share the map name. Oh my God.
Your donations are tearing this family apart. Make us left.
All right, guys. Let's see where David Friant is at. Stop donating for life and death.
Hey, an update. We have $20 for CODY.
All right, we're gonna just go on with this, and Guy will just have to be out of frame for a little bit. People are gonna be in the wrong spots for a heartbeat, but that's not a big deal.
I sit over here.
When I froze. This is going great.
We are having some technical difficulties at the moment, apparently.
Well, the Brotherhood doesn't like to share publicly what happens within the Citadel. So.
Guys, give us. We're going to be right back. We're going to take a hopefully 60-second break to try to get David back in here and get this map set up. Give us 60 seconds here.
episode now.
And
really
we are back, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We have no idea where Dave is, but fuck him. So,
You guys donated him to death.
well, you donated Dave to death. Stop donating. Oh my god. All right, we're back. Guy Slanders, I'm so sorry about that. I have this map up. Everybody can see the map. When Dave gets back,
map.
we'll just tell him his character got voted off the island.
He's working on
See,
it.
Jacob, there's a show on called Survivor.
Yeah,
where
Tom Hanks in
people-
it?
Kind of.
As a matter of fact. All
All
right.
right, we're back.
You enter into this very darkened chamber. 6 columns reach up towards quite a height. On one wall, you can see the heads of various species of individuals, including 2 human heads. There's some elves, there's some dwarves, and their names have been written underneath and then very purposefully scratched out. A line has been drawn through them. Lionel, you recognize some of these heads as past members who did not succeed when they were challenged with the Black Disc. There is a goblin currently. Each of the heads is mounted on a sort of a shield. There's a goblin who's currently carving a shield sitting next to the heads as you step in, and he looks up. Oh, brilliant! Would you just hang on a sec? He comes running over to you with this sort of crude piece of wood. Would you bend down, please? You're a little bit high. I just want to make sure there's enough room for the neck. He says this to you, Lionel.
He realizes there's no point in arguing, and so he's gonna bend down and.
Oh, brilliant! Brilliant!
acquiesce.
He pulls out some chalk from behind his ear, and he sort of does a crude. I seldom get this opportunity, so can I just say on my behalf, thank you for that. It made my job so much easier. And you know what? Which color would you like?
I walk up and I step right up next to this guy and I say, "Is this necessary? Can you piss off?"
Pissing right off, sir. Pissing right off, he says as he scurries back to his carving and he sort of selects a darkish red wood, which he then starts to sculpt furiously. There is a figure who approaches. I don't have a token for them, but the figure approaches you lot. And very tall, very thin-looking elf looks at all of you. You have arrived of your own volition, Lionel. This bodes well. We are obviously aware of your impending... we were aware that you were coming here. Everything has been prepared. The Brotherhood will sit in trial on you. If you have any form of defense, it would be good to raise it now. Are you aware of the procedure that we will be enacting?
What are the exact charges?
I'll leave those for our master to reveal to you, but suffice it to say, you'll have 24 hours to answer the accusations. When you fail, we'll put your head there, he says, pointing to a space on the wall.
Naturally.
Naturally. If you'll come with me, please, gentlemen.
To be clear, the rest of us...
Our co-collaborators, yes.
Draxus, you're in on it.
In what now?
They had nothing to do with it. I have made my own decisions, and I will continue to do so.
We were under the impression, well...
I
I'll
know
let
the code, and they are innocent from all charges. I will be the person of which they will be brought against only.
Noble sentiment coming from you, though I'm afraid you'll find that it rings rather empty. But that's not for me to decide. That is for our Lord to decide. He starts to lead you down this corridor. If I could move the map, because I have apparently forgotten how to do that. He leads you down this corridor and, up some stone steps first, and then down.
You know, guy, this is a beautiful map. Where did you get it, buddy?
I didn't get it. I made it using
I don't know. You tell me.
Dungeon Painter Studio.
Dungeon Painter Studio.
Weird. I've never heard a white dude do the white dude voice.
I know. I was thinking
That threw me off guard for a second. I was like, "Whoa!"
He's a foreigner. It's fine.
I've just bought a ladder, so that's okay. There is this large chamber in front of you with that you are dragged into. There are benches set out in a rather audience-like array, and at the very far end of it is this desk on a raised platform, and sitting at the end of it is an individual that you know all too well, the leader of the Brotherhood. On these benches, by the way, there are hundreds of people sitting and watching. The individual who has led you into this room, the tall, gaunt elf, he politely invites you, Lionel, to go and sit next to the judge, the master of the Brotherhood. The rest of you, he offers you seats in the front row, if you like. Do you take his offer to move there?
I would do it.
Well, I'm always down for a show.
Right.
As they kind of get ready to move, I'm going to whisper over to Dante. He still does not realize the danger is in.
Neither do you.
You take your positions at the front, Lionel. You sit down. The leader, he stands up, and everybody in the room suddenly starts shouting, Jara, 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 Jara. As he stands, he kind of lifts his hands up. He smiles. He looks around and he says, you know, today I want to talk about fidelity. The Brotherhood is all about being good to each and every single one of us. But what happens when fidelity breaks down? What happens when someone violates their sacred oath? We're gonna find out exactly today. He turns to you, Lionel. Lionel, how long were you with the Brotherhood?
I was with the Brotherhood for 10 years. Since I was 12 years old.
Since you were 12. That's an impressive amount of time to have spent with the Brotherhood. What did you learn from the Brotherhood whilst you were with us?
That you do not treat people unfairly. You do not take contracts without being deserved. And I kind of look over at Draxus and Gwyn and Dante and Venkus. And that you do not make other people pay for crimes for which they did not commit.
It's funny that you worded it like that. You do not make others pay for the crimes in which you committed, he says, and he walks to the far end of the platform. He looks out at the four of you, well, five of you, excuse me, the four of you and the rest of the audience, and he takes a fairly dramatic pause, and then he points very, very directly at you, Lionel. And yet, you would make others pay for your own folly. What folly do I speak of? He says as he turns to the rest of the audience. And they all sort of start hissing and booing. Don't take my word for it. Let's bring in the first accuser. Bring in Lionel's first wife. This very prim and proper woman comes walking in from a side door behind all of you. And as she's walking down, there's cheering and there's clapping. She walks past Dante, and as she does so, she turns and she reaches out for your hand, Dante.
I look at her, confused.
she then nods, and then she goes and she takes a seat next to you, Lionel. This is Camellia Desander, first wife of Lionel. Lionel, how did things end between you and Camellia?
I told her I did not want to be married to her any longer.
Camellia, is that true? Is that what he said? This very prim and proper human looks over, and then suddenly she bursts into tears. That's not it. Definitely not what happened. You died. You said you were, well, you didn't say it because you were dead at the time. And she starts bawling. You said you had died, Lionel. Just unpack that for us.
I do not think it is possible for me to tell her I have died. And he's going to kind of make a quip at the wording of the prosecutor, if you will.
There is some laughter that ripples through the audience. Well, yes, fair point. Fair point. I'll give you that point. He then steps away. But you did technically die, right?
And he kind of stands up and holds his arms out. No, I do not think that I have died. What do you think?
Yet, I have a letter here. And he goes to the desk and he pulls up a letter, which clearly states you died. And he holds up this jar. A toe of yours, supposedly. That is the last remains of Lionel. How do you explain that?
Well, you see, I had come under a new friendship with my good friend Dante. And Dante was a people of the orc kind, as you can see from his tusks. I was trying to convince him to stop eating flesh from people like a cannibal. So I told him, you know what, Dante, you should try eating toes. Because they are so disgusting, you will lose the taste in your mouth. In fact, I lost 2 toes to Dante as part of my friendship. And that is why there is only 1 toe left. Because he ate one, but he could not finish and stomach the second toe. I'm going to pull off my shoes. This is all bullshit. I'm going to pull off my shoes and show that I am, in fact, missing 2 toes.
The audience all goes, oh, as this sort of ripples out. Jara looks at Dante. Dante, you've been accused of being a cannibal, of being a best friend, and, well, quite frankly, your name is on the letter which says that Lionel is dead. Why didn't you come up here and just tell us your side of the story real quick?
Oh, no. This is about to get so much worse.
I look at him and I say, how long are we going to keep playing this game? Do you really need me to do that for your spectacle here? How about you run with the information that you have? I haven't eaten human flesh since I was born.
You haven't eaten flesh since you were born. He gives you this sidelong look, which he hopes conveys. Its meaning is pretty clear, Dante. It's this look of, what do you mean not give them a show? This is a mock trial anyway. That's the kind of glare that he gives you. He has not eaten. So you are saying that you're not a cannibal, but you don't have to come up. I understand your reluctance to be seen with this man, he says, pointing at Lionel. So your best friend refutes your word that he's not a cannibal. I have a letter here that was written saying Lionel is dead, and here is the evidence. This is his last remaining toe. Now, before you make your decisions, he says, looking out at the masses, there's a twist to this tale. Let's bring out someone named Kadarin Lesan.
Oh.
Excuse me. I don't know how things go in the carnival court, but I just have a quick question since I'm here for the show. Is it okay if I answer?
He kind of grimaces, and then he steps over to you as he's watching Katarin walk in. Yeah, quickly, what is it?
The man or person, sorry, I don't want to be offensive here and whatever this is. The person who wrote the letter saying that he was dead, verifying that this was his toe, and that they confirm he's dead.
Yes.
Who is that person? Where are they?
That information is not important for this.
Well, if they said that he's dead and he's clearly not, unless there's some series of twin action happening here, then the person who wrote the letter would also be a liar and would also be party to his treachery. Just want to point that out there.
He has exonerated himself of his crime.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. All right. I just want to verify that.
Right.
For thoroughness. Carry on. No, this is great.
Katarin arrives. She is a rather portly-looking elvish female, and as she walks past you, Lionel, she... What's your armor class?
Not high enough.
Well, let's see. I don't know. No, she sort of swipes at you, completely misses, and...
oh, God, I told you to stop doing that.
Around at you. I thought you were dead. She says she's busy slapping you. The crowd is kind of going mad as this performance is happening. Eventually, several of the Brotherhood come up and drag her to her seat. This is Katarin. Katarin is the second wife. Yeah. Lionel, when did you marry her? Was it before or after you were dead?
I keep trying to tell you I'm not dead. I married Katarin about 3 years after I left D.
I see.
We were out like summer love. We did not stay together long. I tried to tell her, Lee, not to be confused with my first wife, D, and I'm gonna point over here to Chameleon.
They're both sitting there looking angrily at you.
Did you know, it was time to part. Like a summer rose, we have melted away our love. It burned too hot. And it was time for me to be gone.
From across the room, someone shouts, "That's exactly what you said to me, you bastard!" And this very sprightly-looking male comes rushing into the room. Everybody kind of looks over, and Jara's like, well, that's sure, let's bring him in early. Everybody meet Bastian Tresander, the third in this bizarre situation. Take a seat, Bastian. Bastian looks glaringly at you. He is wearing particularly fine outfit, very, very velvet sort of encrusted jacket with these very tight hose which reveal a little bit too much, and he kind of flounces down into the chair next to you, Lionel, and does not look at you. He kind of looks away.
But Trey, you are the reason that I left Kataran.
This is better than a circus that one time.
He puts his ringed, very heavily ringed hand up as he doesn't seem to want to hear any of it. So you married her first, then you married her while still married to her, then you married him while still married to her and to her. Is that correct?
I tried to tell each of them that I was done with the marriage.
Yeah,
but they did not listen to me.
You faked your death twice to get both of them to stop looking for you?
I did not fake my death.
Well, that's what you say, but there's a mystery guest who might say otherwise. And I think it's time that he definitely took the stage now. I think it's time. Dante, would you come up here and just tell us what you helped your friend do here?
This is better than the plays.
Gwen's elbowing Draxus. Who do you think the mystery guest is?
I think it's Dante.
I'm sitting next to you and I'm like,
are they gonna kill him for this?
Dante?
I stand up.
Eat children and stuff, don't they? Like,
very quickly, Dante, because we know that you're busy and you're, saving the world. Did Lionel fake his death twice? It's a yes or no question.
It does seem fairly simple. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. The audience goes mad. They're busy thumping their feet. So he faked his death twice, married 3 people, and then, folks, and this is the kicker, all 3 of them claimed funds from the Brotherhood as widows. You know how much money that is, Lionel, for the past 6 years?
You know, I don't know exactly how much money it is.
It comes to a grand total of around about 12,000 gold pieces. That's right, folks. The Brotherhood takes care of its own. And when its own die, it takes care of its family members too. So there's that little problem. Then one final thing. Bastian, what did you do when you could no longer get hold of Lionel, who claimed he had gone on a journey to save the Solosphere from the sun and wouldn't be back for some time? Bastian stands up and, in a very dramatic gesture, basically states, I went to the Order of Templars that supposedly Lionel had joined and demanded that they give me recompense for Lionel's death in the Solosphere. And they did, quite a lot, as a matter of fact, until they found him again because of an incident at a yurt. So now I have to pay it back, and I can't pay it back, so Lionel has to pay it because he's technically still my husband.
I hate to interrupt, just to clarify for the audience. What's a yurt? How many people fit in a yurt, and what happened to the yurt?
It's like a tiny house tent.
Shh, I know what it is. Just
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jara looks over at you. A yurt is a place that the very specific people who live in the Terrasphere dwell in. It's generally constructed out of hide and bone and is not often permanent. It can be temporary. Why am I saying this? It's a dwelling.
Great job.
There are a lot of angry people.
what do you do with the yurt?
Very convincing.
Well, before we move on, folks, I think it's important that just for a second we talk about our benefactors. So we'll be right back after this break.
Good job, guys.
So with that in mind from our sponsors and benefactors, we can now continue with the trial of Lionel, the I'm not dead, but I'm dead twice.
Are you getting paid by sponsors to be here? And she looks over to Draxus.
I didn't know this was. I thought I was going to get paid for bringing him in, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, I didn't think that was ever going to happen. That was never part
Now,
of it.
Lionel, you have heard from everybody except perhaps from the important person of yourself. There is an outstanding fee of just under 23,000 gold pieces. Are you going to pay that back? Are you going to do right by your wives and husband and the Brotherhood? Or are we going to get to mount your head on a spike?
This is good. I'd like to hear this answer as well.
You know, I have loved you, Camellia. I loved you so much, Catherine. Trey, I loved you dearly. I'm sorry that I put you in such a deep predicament. But my life was mine to live, and I could not handle being tied down to any one person. It is not my fault, who I love with all my heart. I do not mind anybody, as long as they're looking as fine as yours, Trey.
At that point, you are rugby tackled by Camellia and Katerin because they are the wow, natural 20. They blindside you out of nowhere. There is screaming and shouting as Katerin and Camellia are both sort of pulling at you, screaming bloody murder in terms of betrayal, in terms of this, in terms of that. Jara is on the side going, well, that's what you get when you try and do that, folks. That's something to listen and think about. Eventually, several Brotherhood drag them off of you as they're still clawing and screaming and shouting at you. Now, this is a fair court. We are not going to descend into absolute anarchy here, although we could. Lionel, you have 24 hours to come up with a reason why we shouldn't cut your head. Because it's not really important about the fact that, oh, I don't know, you defrauded these 3 people of love. It's more about the money, let's be honest here, folks.
Dante turns.
More about
he looks at Draxus. He looks at Gwen, and he looks at Vankus, and he just says, I'm sorry. And he stands up, and he says, wait!
Wait, says Jara as he raises his hands up.
I know the truth. And I walk up next to Lionel.
I don't know what he's doing.
It's going to get good.
Lionel has been with me the entire time. I'm a member of the Brotherhood.
Relationship, says Jari.
Before all of them, I was with Lionel. We've loved each other since we first met here in the Brotherhood, and I swore an oath to protect him because we adopted a son. This poor Dragonborn. And I point over at Draxus.
It is true.
There is chaos and pandemonium in the audience as they just lose their shit just hearing.
He says, we discovered upon the corpse of a dragon. And below this dragon was this poor creature. We had to take care of it. But in order to do so, we needed money. We had to protect his life. So this debt does not extend to Lionel. It extends to me, but also to the life of this poor Dragonborn who was unable to walk at birth, who was unable to speak, who had tattoos put on him by his slavers, which created a curse upon his body and the rest of his
curse. That's all Gwen loudly yells, curse.
There is, give me a performance check. You have advantage on this because it has blindsided everybody.
I love you, Jacob, so much. I love you so much.
All right. Well, I'm kind of...
Draxus, why didn't you tell us?
Oh, that was perception. That was perception. My performance bonus is +5. That's a 21.
21. All right. There are several members of the Brotherhood that are currently crying, and they're busy wiping tears away from their eyes.
And I say, to show my loyalty, my own family is being protected by the Brotherhood I swear to work for. I kept tabs on Lionel. I helped him fake his death, but it was all for our son. And I rip my shirt off, and I turn around, and I show the tattoo on my back, and I say, my loyalty is for life. I am sworn to everyone here. I didn't want to reveal it. I wanted to protect all, but you, and I point at, what's his fuck? And I say, you just had to reveal everything. You had to make it into a show. You turned my life into a show. Just
you're playing a half-orc? The Brotherhood?
And that I ate toes!
Are you pointing at Lionel?
No, I'm pointing at fucking, not at Lionel, the other guy.
The prosecutor.
Yeah, the dude.
I don't know what else to go. Prosecutor.
Yeah, Jara. All right. So Jara.
Yeah, Jara. I point at Jara.
Says that.
He looks very, very unhappy. The audience, however, is now standing, shouting Dante, and then Lionel. Some of them are shouting for Trey because they just like his fashion sense. Several of them
he had a bunch of rings on, bro.
Exactly. Several are shouting for the Dragon Kid. But the general feeling is definitely the audience is on your side.
I turn and then I look towards the wives and husband, and I say, I'm sorry. what we had to do. I'm sorry that we lied to you. But the only one who lost here is the Brotherhood. We've only helped in creating life. We now have a Sky Whale where we help children. And we run a scholastic book fair, in order to let the children learn. We teach them the ways of the Brotherhood and our business. We're loyal. And we don't owe you this money because it went to a good cause.
I'm going to step up to Dante, reach down and grab his hand so that we're holding hands like really tight and kind of pull it in like a lover.
The audience goes ballistic. You get kissed by Dante. There is just absolute pandemonium and chaos. And
then I pull away and I say, and I just raise our hands together and I say, love wins, love wins, love wins. And I have that chant go out through the audience.
Draxus, what are you doing while all of this is happening?
Gwen has a tight grip on the back of his shirt.
Grip on the back of Draxus' shirt. What are
like
you
right at the lower back.
If you've seen like a snake's eyes, how they get real small before they're about to leap at the little rabbit that's jumping, that's what Draxus looks like. If he had lips, they would be tightly pursed, like McGonagall and Harry Potter, and his eyes are the smallest little slits as he stares amusedly at the two idiots on trial before him, knowing in his head that he is A, both older than both of them, and B, there is so much documentation that he is a professor that even with a cursory glance will prove this lie a sham.
I run over to Draxus and I grab him and I say, "Come with us, son." And I say, "Come also, Uncle Venkus and Protector Gwen." And I stand them forward and I say, "Thank you, but I think we've proven our case." I'm going to try to slowly back out of the room as hopefully everybody's chanting what I was chanting.
When Dante went down to grab Draxus, he leans forward and like getting up with him, knowing that he has no choice but to follow this along, and he whispers so only Dante can hear him, "We had a moment after the trial in Cruxicut. That's over." And he stands and starts walking with Dante.
Can I whistle and have the children run out from under the bleachers where the people were sitting or around the stadium because they actually were ready to fight, and she just whistles and they see a bunch of orphans run out and just run in behind us.
I yelled, "The orphans!"
Well, yeah, sadly there were no orphans under the bleachers. That would have been spectacular. But yes, there is the love wins is just going mad. From the door frame, I will do this though. So yes, Gwen, you do whistle, and from the large doors that you were brought into, the kids are there. They have snuck aboard. They wanted to see Lionel's burial. They just come flooding in. As they do that, the chanting gets even bigger, even better. As the five of you surrounded by kids makes your way out.
As soon as we pass out of that door, yes. I say, "That's the last time" at Lionel, and I say, "Fucking run," and then I bolt.
Okay, so before I make those rash decisions, and I've loved all of this. Does Lionel believe that this is going to be the end of this?
Oh, no. Jara was trying to make a very public display of what happens when you betray the Brotherhood. He's been denied that. He can't... You know now, the way that this is, it's all popularity. You're all a bunch of swindlers. So the crowd currently is on his side. So he will not be able to take any kind of action against you now. But...
Is leaving going to be an automatic death sentence is mostly what I'm worried about.
You probably already got an automatic death sentence. You took his show away from him.
Will it happen in 8 sessions? That's the important question.
Jesus Christ, David.
I feel like the death's going to come in about 9 weeks.
I'm turning to run, and I say, "Lionel, we gotta go. We got out of this."
Yeah. there is very little comeback. If you stayed, you would probably get bogged down in a popularity contest with Jara. But this is his fortress.
No, yeah, great. Then yeah, let's bounce. I want to, as we're kind of running, I want to see if there is either on myself or someplace that I want to scribble a note kind of as we're running and like fold it up and drop it somewhere.
Oh, easy enough. There's that goblin with the little headboard that he's busy finishing off. As you come bursting out, he's got paper sketches all over the place. And he sort of very proudly holds up the board that your head is going to be on as you come out. The note you're going to leave with him, or you just sort of throw it out?
No, I'm gonna throw it down in his shop. Like I'm gonna run over and kind of quickly scribble as these guys are running, getting onto the thing. Quickly scribble, fold it up, and then just kind of tuck it in on the desk somewhere.
Sure, not a problem, not a problem. And then you burst out of the doors. You run down the quay. Following behind you, you can still hear the chanting of the crowd. Love wins, love wins, love wins.
As we're running, I look towards Draxus and I'm like, Mr. Dr. Professor Draxus, I'm so sorry. I said I was sorry.
I feel like I've heard too much. How did I not notice any of this?
But you're the only one that they're not going to understand. I couldn't say Venkus was our son. I had to make one of, and it just made the most sense. They might pity on you. I'm so sorry.
They also don't even know if you lay eggs or not.
No one, I swear to God, I will trip you and leave you here.
Don't do that. No, that's a bad idea.
Why would you want to trip one of your dads and leave them here? It doesn't seem like the thing to do, Drax.
It's all a lie. I'm older than you.
This is like the honey, isn't it?
It's just like the honey, but so much worse.
Except we're not covered in dirt.
Lionel still has his honey, so as you guys are running, you're hearing like cling, 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 in this little satchel bag as the jars
Auntie
are
told the story
together.
so well. I believed him.
Yeah, that's their job. The same reason you almost built that honey.
Although I should mention, Lionel, that I totally did lie to you. And we're going to have to talk about that later. And he continued.
Why didn't you just pick one of the actual kids?
Yep.
Because I didn't know they were in there. Nobody told me.
No one knew.
Yes. She goes, yes.
The kids are all just running along. They're all happy. They're showing their wins as well.
You know, Dante, I did not expect you to go with line number 27. It was a good call, I think.
You know they're still going to kill you, right?
You use Wedding Crashers it with a rule?
You all get onto Sartoon. The lines are cast off. Sirac can see a hasty exit when he sees one. And so Sartoon thrashes her tail and pushes forward with a tremendous surge up into the air. The ballistas on the walls do not start swinging in your general direction, which is a pretty good sign. And by the time that there is any signal that there might be some issues, you are far, far away from Harding. Currently heading due west because Sirac just chose a direction and head in that direction.
I feel like this is not clear because I'm now more convinced that both of you are actual idiots. They're still going to kill you, right? You know that.
Yeah.
You know, there is a bit of a dance to it now.
But what I'm trying to say is they were going to kill you before if we didn't show up. And now we did show up and they're still going to kill you.
You know, possibly, but the only difference is we may have bought ourselves a little bit of time.
Did you notice how easily we changed their minds and hearts? I don't think that's going to be difficult to defend from. It's not. I'm not scared. I'm not worried.
Dante, just so that you know, now that you've kissed him, he's probably going to leave you at some point.
Oh, I was already afraid of that.
And
I turn and I look at Lionel like seriously and I say, well, I didn't want you to go back anyways. I thought you were going to leave me.
I'm gonna
Dante, tell me at least that part's real. You two are really a couple, right?
No,
they're married.
But and Lionel reaches into his pocket.
We have a captain,
and you realize that he has snagged one of the rings off of Trey's finger, and he gets down on his knees in front of Dante. Dante, I love you like a brother.
Captain Sirac.
I'm not looking to be wedded to you, but take this as a promise. I would never leave you, my friend. Bruv, I will spend the rest of my life telling lies, having a good time, and meeting fine-looking other men and women. And I'm going to hand him the ring.
I grab the ring,
Captain.
and I look at it, and I chuck it off the sky whale. I look down and I say, I don't need a fucking ring for that.
Never mind.
Hook it up and give him a big hug. Seriously, I did not think you would go with number 27.
That was my own plan. Don't try to demean my plan.
I'm not sure what's going on here, but where are we going and why are we exchanging rings and throwing them away? What?
Don't worry, there's no more
Captain Surak, head to... Where are we going?
Go on.
To the core. We are going to the core.
Well, Lionel, Dante, if we don't save the world, this might be your last chance to have the captain here marry you.
Yes, I can do that. I am a captain. Ha! I can. Yes.
Nope.
Not
happening.
No.
How are you going to raise a child then?
I've been married 3 times. I'm done.
Draxus, I'm sorry. I think everybody might be believing this lie for a while. I didn't realize
No.
Gwen touches him in the shoulder. No.
No one believed that.
I think everybody looks over at Venkus.
It was a really believable story.
Oh, God. I look back at the kids. You guys?
We kind of only heard the last part, but I thought they were really... It was kind of nice.
It's very true, actually, children. Draxus is our son.
It's not.
Hey, don't mess with the children. They're in training.
Yeah, we already messed with them.
The clouds start to form this most spectacular, very pink sunset with the casts of purple hinting at the edges as the whale sails ever westward. There is a calm, perhaps, that sets over the ship as everyone contemplates the chaos and pandemonium that has just happened. Draxus, there is something that you need to think about. Give me a history check, please.
Is there?
There is.
19.
19. There are still elements missing before you can head to the core.
Yeah, they're in people. It's one of the things.
That's the shards, yes. Yeah. But remember, there's a bit of a step that needs to happen. You need to get back to the Temple of V.
Yes. To meet with those people. Draxus will gather everyone off in some corner of the ship away from the rest of the people, including the children. And he kind of looks out to the cast of characters assembled, and he says, listen, we had to go back to the temple with the guys with the bald head and the thing. Remember the orcs attacked? Regardless, I have to perform a ritual to get the stones out of Scratches, and I think her name's Aoith, I forget. So I'm going to tell you guys this now because you're going to throw a temper tantrum if I don't tell you. This is a very difficult ritual, and it may still kill them. So I'm going to do it on Aoith first because I really like Scratches.
Well, there is honesty in an episode that has been marred by a lot of dishonesty.
I just figured I'd let you guys know.
We're going to talk about this episode on the next after show, guys. I'm just telling you guys here. That's happening. We're gonna have a cast chat about what happened in the last 2 hours.
So if Aoith isn't seen on board the ship anymore, that's why. You can tell the kids whatever you want to tell them.
We're not coming with you?
To do the ritual? I'm doing it on the ship. We're all going to the temple. That's tertiary.
Do you need to
learn how to do the ritual like you were going to do it?
Yeah, no, I learned how to do it were you there? The whole reason we went to the lizard folk. I
got really drunk.
That's fair. Okay. So yeah, the shaman, the reason I wasn't at the festival with you is because he was teaching me a very very complicated ritual.
Gotcha.
Incense.
So you know how to do it. I thought somebody else had to do it. I
understand.
All right. Yeah, makes sense. Yep. You're going to go do it in their thingy? Or are you going to do it on the ship?
You're going to be married. You need to learn about these things.
Wow. I feel like I don't even...
I know, it makes you sick when your parents fight, huh? And she's just egging Draxus on at this point.
He'll push you off the ship in your sleep.
I think they're playing the marriage because Lionel's not very good at it.
It's just free fall. She couldn't get me.
Oh my god.
Good, Draxus.
Guy, do I think it would be better to perform the ritual with all the shiny bald guys? The androgynous super wizards?
No, you don't think so. It's the ritual is laborious, but and dangerous, as you rightly say. But you only need one person to incant the words and the phrases. It might make sense, perhaps, if there was someone who could cast healing magic. But you suspect that when these stones come out, if they don't come out successfully, you would need a significantly powerful healer to basically raise the dead.
I'm sorry, I got super confused. I thought you had to do the ritual somewhere else. You're just doing the ritual on the ship on the way to the place where you need to take the stones.
You need to go back to the Temple of Va.
Okay, that's what's happening. I didn't know that.
Yep.
All right then. Do you need help in making sure she doesn't die? Because Lionel and I can both play soothing tunes to heal her wounds.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Dante. At this point in the day, I would like if you just went to the furthest side of the ship. Just as far away from both of you, really, as possible. That would be great. After you publicly called me your son and shamed my ability to walk.
I didn't shame it. I just made up the. You know what? That's fair. And
I am a
come on, Lionel. Let's go play the didgeridoo.
Kids at this age need a little bit of time alone, you know. And she just kind of gently pushes them out.
Just swear to whatever God you believe in.
Make sure he does his squats in the morning, all right? And then he walks away.
Son of a... I bet I could have Leslie poison their food. They eat a lot. Any of the honey, probably.
Dante probably drank his milk a little too fast.
Yeah. All right, you're going to go perform the ritual. And
I am going to ask for Gwen's assistance.
Baby Drax.
Does he asks for it? Like he asks for it?
Yeah, so like once you sort of push them away and you like come back to the circle, he looks to you and says, I don't know what blessings, he says sarcastically, you have, but I could probably use your assistance. I mean, let me rephrase that. They can use your assistance for the living part.
I feel like I'm hearing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
My help?
No, they need your help to not die, possibly. I don't really mind. I'm going to use Aowith as a practice.
You can't just say it, can
I
you?
made that pretty clear. No.
Could you help? No?
You got it.
Okay. And she just goes over and sits down. That's as close as we're going to get. That's progress. Right.
Thanks.
And then he goes back to like pulling out material components.
Okay, the two of you are going to be casting that ritual together. Vankus, what are you doing while this process is going on?
I'm explaining the whole courtroom drama to Leslie. And I tell it as if it was all real the whole time. And then I'm like, and then they tricked us all. Except for Lionel and Dante really do love each other. But they're not going to get married because Lionel's really terrible at being married.
Yeah. She is crying and then she's laughing. And then when you reveal that the whole thing was a trick, you've never heard her make this sound before, but she sounds almost like scratches. in this bizarre laughing snort that comes out of her. She is just overwhelmed with joy and happiness that everything was a trick. You get the sense that she believes that everything was a trick, including the marriages beforehand. So she because as you're telling the story, she's getting angry at Lionel and sort of you get a sense that she's siding with the wives. But when you say and everything was a trick, she assumes all the marriages were tricks and the whole thing was a big con. Are you going to shatter that illusion of hers?
I don't think Vegas would get that she feels that way. I think that part would be over his head, and it'll end with, maybe you could teach Lionel about marriage.
She laughs.
I've learned everything I know about marriage from you. And Jenks. And then I look a little sad.
She looks a little sad too. And then she goes off to the kitchen to bake. Yeah, she'll come back shortly. Lionel and Dante, the two of you have been sort of relegated to the far end of the ship whilst the ritual happens.
Echoing.
Wait, what?
It's a didgeridoo.
He's playing his didgeridoo.
Oh, you're playing a didgeridoo. Sorry.
Just on the back of the Skywell.
I didn't get that.
And a tiny flute. Yeah. We're harmonizing in didgeridoo.
No, bro, you need to circular breathe. You breathe in through the nose. At the same time, you push it out your mouth.
All right. That's what the two of you.
Let's harmonize our didgeridoos. All right, hold it here.
There's a euphemism. Draxus, you are crossing this ritual. Would you please give me an Arcana check to complete the ritual? Erwith is looking incredibly nervous as you go about it. From the way that it was explained to you by the shaman, she's in the center of the circle that you have created. And in theory, when you intone the final harmony, the stone should simply phase out of her body, leaving her as she was before.
So my intent, Draxus's intent, to bring Jenks along is actually less of what he said in the fact that. Sorry, wow, Gwen, my bad. To bring Gwen along is less. Well, he needed a god, so less in the fact that she can heal, and that might be useful, and more in the fact that she is a physical embodiment of the powers that grant him the ability to cast his ritual, and he intends to use her as sort of a secondary focus for the magical things that are happening in here.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's his intent.
I think whenever she's helping him, she would just say, I think I know what I need to do here. And while he's doing his thing, she's just staring at the markings closer because he never lets her get this close to her.
Gotcha. God. Nice. You have advantage on that arcane roll because of that. I think that's a pretty cool idea.
Dope. 19.
You incant the ritual. It takes you quite a while. And as you finish off the final word, the stone starts to pull itself out of Erwith's chest. She watches in a little bit of nervousness, but not in terror because there's no pain as the stone slowly slides out of her. Oh, that feels so much better. I have to thank you, Dr. Professor Draxus, and you as well, Gwen, she says as she sort of takes your hand. I didn't realize it, but it was as if there was this incredible weight on my chest, and it's now gone. Wow. Yeah. This green glowing stone is suspended in the air above the ritual circle.
Draxus just pulls out the rod and kind of captures the stone in the rod.
Stone gets locked into the rod, absolutely. Shall I call scratches, or do you need a moment to recover?
No, I think I can go again. Glass of water, shoulder rub. I think I got this one.
Oh, absolutely, she says. She goes rushing off. You hear the cry for Scratches, and Scratches does not appear.
Gwen, I'll go get him. Or go to find him.
Give me a investigate check, please.
Can do. Nope, he's not under this bed.
He's not under the bed. He's not sitting on the egg. There's no sign of him as far as you can find him, Gwen. Eowith reports back to you, Drexus. We can't find Scratches.
Get me, shit, there's like 40 of them. I don't know, the oldest one. Whichever one of the kids seems to be in charge of the other kids.
Javi?
Sure. Dealer's choice. Just bring him in here. If you could, please.
Sure. A few moments later, Javi is brought in. Yes.
Hey, Javi, I need a favor real quick. Gather up all of the kids and search the entire Sky Whale, top to slightly lower than top, and find Scratches.
Whoever finds him and doesn't break anything gets a treat.
There you go.
There's a narrowing of Javi's eyes as he hears that, and then he looks.
Lionel's the creepy one.
Yeah. He looks at Mama.
A treat.
Is this a test? Because we're in the middle of training, and you said we shouldn't break training.
This is not a test, and you can't just go look for it. You have to tell the others.
Mama's got a treat.
She does the handshake they have. Like that means that she's serious.
He then nods solemnly and disappears. You hear the sounds of 80 feet, well, 79 feet thumping around upstairs as the kids are busy looking everywhere for them. Vankus, you and Leslie are proving to each other perhaps just how many more kids you want to make. And
did you say 79?
Yeah, he sure did.
We have one kid without a foot?
There is, yes.
Was he one of the kids that got injured?
That's it. That's all I wanted to know.
No. It's a kid.
Oh my god!
His name is Livingstone, or Livingston, as some pronounce it, but Livingstone, and he has one leg. Nonetheless, Vankus, you're interrupted. Hey, Mr. Vankus, have you seen Scratches?
When is the last time I saw Scratches?
As a matter of fact, give me a perception check.
He's in the room with you now.
That is a thing I can do. I think this is the first die I've dropped all night.
I know, right?
On Fantasy Grounds. 14.
There's a realization that, sure, Leslie spruces up the place every port that the ship arrives in, spending money where she gets it from now. You're not entirely convinced. So the rooms are always changing and adjusting, but usually it's in shades of red, or when she's really lucky, pink or purple. Occasionally there's some yellow drapery that arrives. The cushion in the corner is a very, very mottled brownish gray, and definitely does not strike you as something that she would purchase.
I will go investigate and poke that.
As you poke it, you hear this, "Shh, I'm in hiding."
Oh, okay, what are you hiding from? I can make you better at hiding if I talk to the spirits.
The kid sort of looks, did you find him, Mr. Vankus?
Hold on a minute. I'm talking to Scratches. What are you hiding from?
Oh my god.
The kid politely nods and stands at the door because apparently he doesn't get it either. There is, however, from this grayish, brownish cushion oh my god, this really. Draxus is trying to remove the stones from me. I don't know if I'm comfortable with him doing that.
I thought you only had one. You have more than one stone in there? And then I start pawing at his chest.
No! The crystal sort of looks like it has several facets to it.
Why do you want to keep it?
Well, it's quite frankly, it's a filly magnet. It's different. It brings all the horses to my yard.
I think, frankly, Gracious, I think it's time that you settle down and just find one filly, one special filly that isn't going to care about what kind of gems you have, but is just going to love you for you. You don't need to value yourself on how many fillies you can spend time with in the yard. You just need one special filly that values you for you.
Leslie kind of pipes in. It's true. Hanging his head, he kind of uncushions himself. If I'm single for the rest of my life, it's your fault, Vanquish. He says,
I would like to interject one thing, Scratches. If we don't use the crystals and do the magic thing that Draxus has been going on and on and on about,
saving the world. Yes.
Yeah, I think if we don't save the world, I think your love life is going to be shortened significantly to the next 8 weeks or so.
That's a remarkably precise time frame, Vanquish, even for you. But I'll take that.
I heard the rest of the crew talking. When we were deciding whether or not we could stop off and sell Lionel or not. And did you know him and Dante were a couple?
No.
I'm definitely telling Scratches, I keep on calling Donkey, the whole story as I take him to Draxus. And then we arrive and it was all a big trick.
There's a very confused looking Scratches. For a moment, both his ears flatten out. You mean Trey wasn't actually his husband?
Oh, no. Wait a minute. I think that part was real.
Vanquish, we need to have a talk a little later on. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to have a stone extracted. And he sort of trupples over to the circle. He looks up at you, Draxus. All right, I'm ready now.
It's about time.
There's a tug, Gwen, from the one who found Vankus, kind of, who found him. His name is Marrow. Do I get a treat now?
Yes. She goes over, rummages through Draxus's stuff. He probably has like papers and pens and ink, stuff everywhere. And she takes out a piece of parchment and draws a little pie on it because she knows Leslie can't read. And she folds it and she goes, "Don't open this until you get there." And then she gives it to him. "Go see Leslie." And then that's how she rewards the kids and keeps them focused. Leslie just gives them extra treats if they're
beautiful. Good. He disappears in a flash. Draxus, you have to perform this ritual once again. You have advantage. You have done it before. So if you would.
Yeah, so he gets everything prepared and has Donkey lay down in the middle. He has Scratches lay down in the middle of it. And he cracks his scaly knuckles and says, "All right, any last words?"
What?
Just kidding. Just kidding. And then he closes the door.
Such a dick.
Make me wait. Woof, a little close. So, 15.
15. All right. This ritual seems to take longer than before. Maybe it's because he has 4 legs. You're not entirely sure. Maybe it's because he's reluctant to let go of the crystals. But eventually,
the second time always takes longer than the first.
Eventually, they separate out, and he's sort of left standing in the middle of the circle looking at this floating green shard.
How you feeling now?
as if a small part of my soul has been removed.
Well, it wasn't your soul. It was a stone. And he sucks it into the rod.
When I get back to the room and talk to Leslie,
Yes.
when we see the donkey again, Scratches, make sure you make a big show of how magnificent his chest looks without the stones and how they were detracting from it.
Okay. Is this like a Lionel and Dante thing?
No, we just want Scratches to feel really good about not having a stone anymore. He felt like he
yes.
needed it to find Phillies.
Yes. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go and bake a pie, I think, for one of the kids. But I'll be back, and then I'll talk all about his chest, she says as she rushes off.
Perfect.
So he like, you can't really assist a donkey to his feet, right? But he encourages Scratches to stand, and he says, "Is there anything else I can do for you, Mr. Scratches? Extracting the stone, anything else you need?"
If we could stop off at a city that has a stable yard.
And why would we need to do that, Scratches?
I was promised that this process wouldn't reduce me.
In what sense?
I'll give you 3
Gwen's
guesses,
gonna
Mike.
put her hand on Draxus' shoulder. I'll have your dads explain it to you later.
I swear to God, I will cover you in bread.
Not like you haven't done that before. All right.
Sorry, no, that was beans.
The beans. Apologies. Legumes.
I will buy so much flour the next place we stop.
Oh my god.
Throw it at
Flowers for your new dads.
Pockets full of it. Just pocket flour.
This banter continues on as Sartoon slowly starts to descend. I assume someone told Serac that you're going back to the Tower of Va. It isn't long before you reach the dangerous territory where she has to slow down to navigate her way through the various chunks of debris that float. Do you wish to stop at that goblin stronghold trading post, or do you want to just press straight down?
Are there horses there? Or
Ooh,
a
I need
stable?
more
No.
boomerang.
Is our map goblin there?
That's where your map goblin was, yes.
Map goblin.
This
He's our
very
map
inaccurate map.
Yes.
First off, his map was accurate. It just had a turtle that wasn't not.
And several elephants.
Yes.
But the rest was in order.
The map had islands, and it said there are 2 mines. Those are the only accuracies that it had about the entire map.
Did the map lead us to the mines?
It was far more artistic than anything else we saw.
The kids led us to the mines.
Hey guys, do you want to stop in Goblin City or do you want to keep going?
We're going to keep going.
All right, let's go.
push forward.
You continue down, and it's not long before the darkness overcomes you as you head into the Undersphere and the Tower of Va. Sartoon once again lets you down gently across the bridgeway, which has been repaired since its last shattering experience. And it looks as normal as it was before. Is it just the 5 of you that disembark?
Yep.
Okay. Heading back into the tower, as you get to the front, there is that guardian that appears, sees that it's the lot of you. We are pleased you have returned. And it steps aside, allowing you passageway across that large causeway, which leads into the direct tower itself. As you enter the tower, the 12 appear, and their clean-shaven heads, their sort of passive-looking faces. This time around, the one that you have spoken to before, he drifts forward. If you recall, they don't walk, they float. He drifts forward. Are we to assume your return heralds the retrieval of the shards?
And the rod like lifts out of his bag and floats on a ghostly hand out into the middle of the room towards him.
As it floats out of his bag, there's like it's like the cinematic shot of it coming out, and there's this music playing, and it zooms out. It's just Dante going.
Hey! That'll get Stop!
Hold on, I like it.
No, stop! That will get copyright striked. Stop! I'm not kidding.
I don't think anybody can claim orcish opera.
Yes, they can.
No, there is a smile that spreads across the 12 as they see the United Stones. I will say we did not expect you to achieve this. This is a momentous occasion. He turns and waves his hand, and appearing on a rather large table is this particularly magnificent and so clear at first you can't even see what it is. But there's this slight warping effect of the inside of the chamber around a circular point on the top of this plinth. And it's only when he raises it up using Mage Hand and brings it over to himself that you realize it is a perfectly transparent crystal sphere that has a slight teardrop shape to it. Whilst you have been busy, we have employed our agents across Kar to retrieve the tear of the goddess. There is now one final component that you require before you can forge the heart and core. He looks at the four of you, Vankus, Gwen, Dante, and Lionel, and then he refocuses directly on you, Drexus. Have you heard of the artist Drexulski?
Have I, guy?
Give me a history check.
Sure. History. 20.
Drexulski is a dwarvish artist famed for creating the most lifelike bronze statues ever to be created. And on several occasions, they have actually come to life and occasionally ripped the heads off of those who purchased them and then looted their treasuries and then took the treasure back to the artist. Although he claims that that never happened and was certainly never the intention of his art. If his art reacted to the owner in such a bad way, well, what does that say of the owner? Not of the artist type of thing. So Drexulski is quite famous for building these living statues. The irony, or perhaps the curiosity, is that people who have large sums of money keep paying him to build Drexulski artwork, which runs a severe risk of actually killing them. It's a bit of a fad that sort of swept through Kar. And so now Drexulskis are often left in a garden or in a prominent place on the top of a tower or a column so they can be seen by everybody, but they can't actually attack the owners. They kind of got wise to the whole thing. Recently, Drexulski's been doing a lot of birds as his statue muse has taken him apparently in that direction. There's no real reason why. But that's what you know of him.
I hate ice dwarves.
Yes, he is an ice dwarf, correct, and is based out of Bavrasik. Bavrasik is a dwarvish ice mine in the Terrasphere that is quite deep within the ice mountains itself. For those of you that don't know, the ice dwarves mine ice from the hearts of mountains. That ice is so cold that it remains frozen and can be transported anywhere in cars. So it can be taken up to the solid sphere and it remains frozen. So there's a big deal on that. It's incredibly hard as well, and takes a very specialized type of mining tool to extract. So those are the ice dwarves generally. They're very clan-like. And quite possessive of their ice. They don't like anyone trying to move in on their ice operation for obvious reasons.
You know, Lionel, this could be a good journey for you, going up to the ice dwarves above. Have you ever been there by chance?
I have not.
Well, the only thing that the ice dwarves hate more than people stealing their ice is the minotaurs, but the minotaurs often take multiple wives and swap them back and forth with each other. So something you seem to be fairly familiar with.
So funny.
It sounds like Lionel could have a lot to learn.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Listen, son, one day when you get big like me and you fall in love for the first time, then you fall in love for the second time, then you fall in love for the third time, you'll understand.
I'm out of the core.
Draxus, I don't understand your disdain for the ice dwarves. They bring life-giving ice to everyone that needs it, and they can pay for it.
Right. They're just surly and little.
Son,
like
tell me, have you ever fallen in love before?
I swear to God.
Sounds really sizist.
Are you even capable of falling in love with that cold art you carry in your chest?
I don't have any cold art. I don't buy from dwarves.
I just assumed you were cold-blooded.
One of the 12 raises their hands. Is this how you operate?
I look up and I go,
yes, always.
More or less.
Jacob, you better cut that shit out.
Hey, wait a minute. On our way there, can we stop and buy a donkey? A lady donkey?
yes.
The 12, he puts a hand over Draxus's shoulder and kind of guides him away from everyone else. Do you go with him?
Yes, gladly.
So
Wait, where are you guys going?
Does he push me out of the moon door?
Yeah, he actually pushes you into a side chamber.
Oh my God! They're gonna kill Draxus.
Gwen's gonna follow.
He doesn't mind you following. As he puts his arm over you, Draxus, and is busy leading you away, I'm not sure how this is all meant to work within the great prophecies, but I feel that I should give you the information before you purchase donkeys and take extra wives.
By all means.
I'm not questioning your methods. You have retrieved the stones, a feat that we thought impossible. Now you are on the cusp of retrieving the final object that is required to restore our god's heart. So your methods are your own to choose. However, and he sort of looks back at Vankus and Dante and Lionel.
No. It's called Vanilla Ice. It's an old bard.
I once heard of a
Lionel. We need to find a filly because Scratches is very upset about losing the gem out of his chest. He thinks that's where his sexual prowess came.
Yeah, I got that part. But listen, I need to tell you about Vanilla Ice.
I thought it was the artist formerly known as Vanilla Ice.
That's what you're hearing in the background. The 12 turns back to you. It is unexpected.
I would sooner leave them here.
Yet they appear to have assisted you in your success. Drexelski is in possession of one of his finest sculptures. We believe it is his first. You will need to retrieve it from him. Whether this requires purchase or other means is irrelevant given the scale of our task. We can provide you with some gold if you feel that that would be of use. But you will need to retrieve the color Vost. It is his finest work that he has produced. It is a replica of the heart of Brax.
And I'm sure he keeps it in his deep, dark ice citadel.
That is traditionally where ice dwarves reside, yes.
Yeah. Guarded by who knows what?
Probably Draxelaski's own artwork.
Well, we killed a beholder the other day, so, what's a couple of statues going to be?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we as a group. In the same way that we got the stones out.
I'm sensing. Should we be hiring? Should we send other teams?
Do I hear them mention gold earlier, like when they said we can pay you gold.
Oh
if you need
yes,
it.
Lionel.
You heard the word higher.
I'm curious. Do you happen to have about 23,000 gold pieces laying around? It could really do me a solid, bruv.
And me.
And Dante.
He looks back at you, Draxus. We were thinking more in the region of 800 gold pieces. 22,000 will take some summoning.
Why don't you work on that then?
Now, with enough sugar cubes, I don't think it'll matter what is in Scratches' chest, and I can have a conversation with these lady donkeys.
You know, you could
I
make
get
him
the
like a
sugar
little a thing of leaves or something,
I
bro.
thought they ate carrots.
Vankus, can you make
They
clothes
do,
out
but
of
they love
of
sugar
these?
cubes.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
true. I forgot about
it's
You
like
don't-
a treat to them.
You don't want them all licking his chest. That would be weird, bruv.
If you could just
And the camera pulls back on the tower with this conversation drifting up towards it. And we'll be back next week.
Ah.
Or hopefully something. I'm not sure what. This show did not go where I thought it was going to go.
Guy, when you
Something
messaged
about
me,
licking sugar cubes off of asses. I don't know.
when you messaged me that we were going to have some improv this week, I did not expect that.
Neither did I.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here on Saber Dice. As always, we want to give a huge shout out to our amazing sponsors, both Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop of choice, and Dungeon Painter Studios, where you guys can paint them dungeons. Now available on Steam, in a studio. Also, for those of you guys who are supporting us over on Patreon, we appreciate the love. We hope you've been enjoying the After Dark show with more awful shenanigans that we won't spoil at the beginning of the show, Gwen. That you were talking about
Talking about Jenks.
What are you talking about, Tony?
Yep.
What are you talking about?
Yep. Anyways, we love your faces. We have the new T-shirts available. So if you guys are in the Safer Dice fan club, you guys voted on the Kharos Stones T-shirt for the season. That is now available in the Teespring shop. Also available is the Classic shop. If you guys are in the Safer Dice fan club, of course you will get those for free, as well as the bonus shirt in a few months when we design those for you guys. So we love your faces. This was crazy, and we will catch you guys next week.
Hashtag baby Draxus.
Hashtag love wins.